Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, May 21st. It is 6:21 right now. Market's going to open in about 9 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a few things here to update, and we should be good to go. All right, looks good. Everything looks good. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. Link is sent out. All right. Looks good here. So as people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here. Going down to the 8-hour time frame. Down to the 4-hour. Going down to the 2-hour. Down to the 1-hour. Looks like this got hit already. Down to the 30-minute. Down to the 15. Down to the 10. And it looks like we're good to go. All right, so you guys can see these big spikes in price over here pre-market. Unfortunately, that kind of wiped out a couple of the liquidity that was sitting up above pre-market. However, we still have this lower level down here at 39,911. So this is going to be the lower level liquidity down below here. And the upper level is going to be at 40,008. So closest level above is going to be at 40,008. And the closest level below is going to be at 39,911. Going over to our clean chart, I'm going to mark up 6:30. Mark up 8 o'clock. Go up to the 4-hour time frame. Identify structure. Structure up there. Structure down here. Go down to the 1-hour. All right. So that's pretty much it. I'm back down to the 1 minute. So we had price over here, which rejected off the support. Other than that, there's not really too much here that's going on. Let's see if, so I remember Nick yesterday was mentioning the all-time high. I don't think it was hit yet. No. So yeah, this is pretty much what we talked about yesterday. Like I wasn't expecting it to push that high. It's a little, still got a ways to go. Like I said, it's probably gonna hit later on this week. I wasn't expecting it to hit yesterday because the volatility was so low. 3,000 or 300 point move is pretty high to the upside. Today, again, same thing. Let's see, we'll measure it from here. It's a 400 point move, so I'm not expecting that all-time high to get hit. So, maybe in the future we'll mark it up. I just don't think it's necessary right now because it's too far back. I guess we can just put a line there just in case. Of course, just in case. We'll color that red. But I'm not expecting it to go up that high. Especially not today with not too much news going on. So looking over here at the calendar, there's not really much going on. The Fed speaking, we had Red Book at 5:55. And that's pretty much it. So 5:55 today, I'll mark it up on our clean chart. It was like right here. It's kind of just a random news event for Red Book. So, all right, guys. Morning, everybody. Looks like majority of you guys are here so far. So looking at liquidity again, closest level below is at 39,911. The closest level above is going to be at 40,008. On the clean chart here, we had price reject off the support. Otherwise, there's nothing else nearby. Going over here to our main chart, we had one news event at 5:55, which is Red Book. Happens every month. And that's about it. So you guys got to keep in mind that we are going into Memorial Day weekend. I totally forgot that was the case. Since that's the case, then that might be another reason why this week's going to be kind of weird. If you guys remember, going into a holiday week and coming back from a holiday week has been kind of unusual for basically this whole year. And yeah, I just got to update that Memorial Day weekend is on Monday. So just keep that in mind. If the market starts to move weird on Friday, that's because Memorial Day is on Monday and markets may close. So you're gonna have some weird movement towards the end of the week. But other than that, that's about it. There's not really much else news for today. There's news at 8:30, but it's gonna be too late. We're not gonna be trading at that time. So we'll play by ear and see where this ends up going. So good morning, everybody. Let's see who's here so far. Morning, Jacob. Morning, Daniel. Morning, Nick. Morning, Sadie. Yeah, Nick said might even consolidate around this area until next week with so little news this week. Yeah, and I agree with you too, Nick, 100%. We got high impact news tomorrow on Thursday, but other than that, pretty much flat for majority of the week. So, all right, guys, the trend here is currently bullish, so we'll see what happens here when the market opens. If price continues to climb up higher, then might look for some buys here. PRV could be for a possible buy since we are in a bullish trend, but we'll see where price goes as we continue to move along here. ATR is currently 9, so this is pretty much normal for pre-market. Again, you guys want to see this get close to like 15. 15 is going to be normal ATR. Anything above like 20, 22 is going to be high. Anything below 9 is going to be low. So we'll follow through and see where this, where this ends up going. We got market opening up in 30 seconds, guys. So 30 seconds, market's about to open. All right, we got 10 seconds till market open. Market is opening in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Market is now open. So there goes the opening candle right there. I'm going to go mark up opening price across the board. Obviously, we're getting that opening spike right here. Pretty normal. All right, so we got price pushing up. This could be setting up for the PRB. You guys can see the rejection right there. This could also be setting up for a momentum divergence if that buy signal closes. Could also be setting up for a breakout V3 continuation. A lot of things could be coming up here, but you guys can see that this candle is a little bit crazy. It's spiking all over the place. Looks like my trading view is a little laggy. I'm comparing it to my Ninja. I'm gonna refresh it real quick. It's a little laggy, not a lot. All right, so no buy signal yet. Again, still kind of pending right here. If your guys' chart is lagging a little bit, guys, because it was lagging initially, just refresh your chart on TradingView because now it's moving fine after I refreshed it. All right, we got the PRB over here that is starting to set up for a buy. We got the rejection right there, another rejection. We need now a space consolidation candle. Once we get that space consolidation candle, you can look for the possibility of retest and correction for entry. So there's no PRB here yet, but if it does come up, I'll try to give you guys a heads up as early as possible. But you guys can see here how price is kind of spiking back and forth. This is pretty normal. We just got to sit tight and wait. All right, so here goes a space consolidation candle for the PRB entry. Liquidity hasn't gotten hit yet. Price is still bouncing around. So I'm going to look over here for the high lows once they're established. We currently have a higher high and we have a pending lower low. So with that said, I guess I can mark up the higher high right here. So there goes a resistance point on our clean chart. Once the lower low is established, I'll come back down and mark up the lower low. It's not established yet, still pending right there. So if you guys remembered from what we talked about yesterday, look for two different patterns, right? Look for consolidation, look for the breakout, then look for consolidation, and look for the breakout. Same pattern that's been repeating itself pretty much all day yesterday. Probably same situation again today. This is the same exact thing that happened yesterday as well. If you guys remembered on open, we had price spike up, came back down, established the range. Once it established the range, it broke below further, established consolidation here, then correction, consolidation, consolidation, consolidation. You guys remember, this is exactly what happened yesterday, right? So wouldn't be surprised if it happens again because we're already expecting it. So again, we do have the pending lower low right here. It's not established yet. Once we have a new high, this will be established. I'll go to our clean chart, mark up support there, and then you guys will have a range to follow. That will be considered the consolidation zone. But until then, we don't have a consolidation zone established just yet. We want a consolidation zone to be established because then we can look for the possible breakout. So if we have a consolidation zone down here, say, for example, we get a lower low, we can look for price consolidator on this lower area and look for it to break out up, right? That's going to line up with the PRB. That's going to give you confidence to maybe want to take the PRB. Probably not, but other confluences within it. If I see a momentum divergence, I see a breakout V3 continuation, something like that for a buy in the direction of the PRB, then I'll possibly want to take it. But again, right here, the support has not been established yet. Once it's established, I'll mark up the support, and then we'll be more confident with looking for entries in that direction. But it's got to sit tight. This is just another one of those days. The good thing is that the ATR is picking up a little bit. It's currently at 14 right now, so there is some movement here. It's now at 15. This is what we want. We want at least some sort of movement happening right here. We don't want it to be flat. We want it to be moving to some extent. All right, so it's coming back down a little further. Again, we're just waiting for this lower low to be established. Once the lower low is established, we can identify the support. It might even come back down to the sessions over here. Look for the bounce and probably correction back up. So there we go. The sessions down here. Price is currently at the Asia low, New York low. If price continues to drop lower, that's completely fine. ATR is at 16 right now. So the ATR is actually pretty decent right now. There's some directional movement. Looks like we had the consolidation right here. So if you look over here pre-market, we had the consolidation, and this is the breakout. So now that we've had this breakout confirmation to the bottom end, we can expect some sort of consolidation to happen after. So there's consolidation, breakout, consolidation, breakout, consolidation, breakout. Now, look for price to consolidate somewhere down this area. Might even just consolidate right here for a bit. And then maybe it'll come back right back up to open. Or then again, this could just be a huge range because the lower low has not been established yet. Like I said earlier, we're looking for this lower low to be established. Once we have the lower low established, we can kind of identify where the consolidation is going to happen. Because you can see over here, this is where the higher high was. And you can see where the consolidation happened right here down the middle. Once this lower low is established, which might be established right here, it looks like. If that's the case and it gets established right there, we might see the consolidation down the middle right here, right? So you just got to wait for the market to kind of give you that storyline. You're looking for that storyline for it to show you where the predictability is happening. There's no predictability right here because it's kind of random how it's moving around. Again, we don't have a new high yet. But we did have a rejection down here with a double body, pushed up a bit. Now it's coming back down. So it's, as price continues to move along, it's starting to look a lot more clear. So I'm going to go down here. I'm pretty sure this is going to be, or actually, I don't have to mark up the support because we have the 4-hour support down here, or the 1-hour support actually. So we had the resistance up here. We had the support right here. Price actually rejected off the 1-hour support. So this is the 1 minute resistance. This is the 1-hour support. And you can see price rejected directly off it. So I already had structure here marked up, so I'm not going to have to mark up another structure. As you guys can see here, this is actually the range now. So this is the actual range between this area. So now that we have this range right here, we have the consolidation, we have another consolidation zone right here, range. Look out for the possible breakout. So you can see how price is rejecting off this level right here. The breakout's going to happen out of this area. So this is where the consolidation is currently at. And if the market follows as it was moving yesterday, it's either going to break out above and come right back to open, or it's going to break out below and it's going to continue dropping, right? So I'm going to look for momentum divergence in between there because I just want to ride momentum. I don't really care about catching the top or the bottom. I'm looking to ride momentum here. Let's see, Daniel said MPS. Yeah, I don't think the trend was confirmed yet, at least not yet, not until this, it's now confirmed on this candle right here. So if anything, the MPS could happen right here. But then there's a pending buy signal there as well. So if you wanted to take an MPS, it'd be at this next level right here. So it looks like the pivots just crossed on this candle right here. So it happened at the 50 mark. All right, so the consolidation that I just showed you guys right here is pretty much starting to establish, as you guys can see. Consolidation, breakout, consolidation. Look for the breakout. Breakout's going to happen above, or it's going to happen below. Doesn't have to happen in either direction specifically, but it's probably going to happen in one or the other. There's still no high here, so this lower low has not been established. Until we get a new high here, this lower low is still going to be pending. So I'm trying to see if there would be a momentum divergence here. I guess the momentum divergence could have happened over here, but the trend wasn't confirmed yet, so we wouldn't be able to take it. So what we'd have to look for here is a new momentum signal. We had a sell signal here, price swung up for retracement. However, the trend here was bullish, and then we had the momentum divergence that happened on this green candle right here. So I mean, technically, if you wanted to enter at some point over here, this would have been your momentum divergence, but because there was no trend, I wouldn't have taken the trade. Also, it's touching news price. So just a lot of things here to look out for. You know, as I said yesterday, you have to be careful with this week because the market's been pretty tricky. Like all day yesterday, we tried to look for an entry pretty much the entire session yesterday, all the way till 8, and there was nothing that really came up that caught our eye. I'm looking for the PRB here. I think there's a PRB that's actually, oh, no, not yet. Because the trend here just confirmed. So the trend just confirmed. We had a rejection right here. We need to have a space consolidation candle. Once we have a space consolidation candle, the PRB can set up for an actual entry. But yeah, looking at this right here, the trend just confirmed. We had the first rejection off this red candle right here. These next two candles, it's hard to tell if there's space consolidation, so I'm not going to count those. We need to be pretty clear. Yeah, Daniel, just remove the pivots and add them back on. It'll change the color to blue because the new update, I've changed it to blue so it doesn't, it's easier to see. Yeah, Drew said these candles are all pretty big, can stop out in both ways. Yeah, exactly. So you want to be really careful with your entries here, guys, because the candles are pretty huge right now. There's no PRB yet, so you guys don't have anything to worry about, at least not yet. Okay, so we have a new high here. This lower low has been established. This is officially the range. We have the resistance up here from the 1 minute, and then we have the support down here from the 1 hour. It's also lined up with the 1 minute as well. So what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for a sell signal. I'm looking for a sell signal to break and close below the support. I'm looking for the retracement, and I'm looking for the continuation. I'm looking for a breakout for a sell here, basically. That's all I'm looking for right now. If we get that, great. If we don't get that, that's fine. If price pushes back up, I'll just wait for, a possible opportunity for a buy. But right now, we'll just kind of see where this ends up going. Let's see, Nick. So Nick changed all of his pivots to black. Yeah, if you guys don't care about the levels, I mean, if you change them all to black, that's fine too, because that'll just show you like you're just looking for price to ribbon, basically. Right? You're looking for it to spread out. If you guys want to do it that way, that's fine. You can do that as well. Like if you go over here and you change all this to black, like what Nick did, you just want to look for it to smoothen out anyways, right? See price below, it smoothens out, price comes above. It's just kind of hard to tell if it's bullish or bearish because it's kind of like you're just looking for price to be above or below it. For me personally, I do like the colors, so I'm going to put it back to default. Leave it as is. Oh gosh, okay. So yeah, Nick just made them darker. Gotcha. Yeah, you guys can set it to whatever colors you guys want. It's no preference. All right, so there's still no PRB here, guys. Okay, yeah, there's still no PRB. There's no space consolidation candle yet. So price is still kind of lingering. Yeah, and Drew said the trend meter is nasty as well. You can see down here, the trend meter has no confirmation of like an actual direction. It goes from red, which is bearish, to blue, which is neutral, red, green, red, green, red, blue, green, etc. And here we go. This might be the breakout to the upside. So as I mentioned before, guys, this is a pattern that's been playing out from yesterday till today. We have consolidation, breakout to the bottom side, consolidation, breakout to the upper side. And it looks like price is probably just going to break back up into this upper range over here, which is completely fine. I don't care which direction price goes. I'm just looking for my entry, my setup to come up. There's just no entry, no setup at this moment. So we're just waiting for something here to present itself. Also, I kind of want the market to kind of slow down and stabilize a bit because you can see over here, these candles are pretty huge. So, I mean, it could easily stop you out in either direction, depending on which way you're looking to trade. So with that said, we have the trend here starting to shift back up. And if this is the case, the PRB might be switching to a buy instead of a sell, which again, I personally don't mind. I just want price to be away from these sessions over here. So what I would prefer is I would prefer for price to push up a little bit higher, maybe consolidate here for a little bit, maybe even retrace for a little bit, and then swing back up. That situation, I'll take the buy there, and I'll ride this up higher. But until then, we don't have a confirmation yet, so we'll have to continue looking. All right, so as you guys can see here, price is pretty much doing exactly what happened yesterday. Consolidation up here, breakout, consolidation, breakout. Now that price is up here, what do you think is going to happen? Another consolidation phase. Doesn't have to be long, doesn't have to be short, it could be a couple candles. Eventually, I'm looking for price to continue climbing up, retrace slightly, and come back up higher. If that's the case, we can use this higher high as possible high-low scalp confirmation. But I'm mainly looking for momentum divergences, guys. So my main strategy for right now is momentum divergence. The reason why I'm looking for momentum divergence is because of this type of market that we're currently in. You can see that it's a lot easier to just catch momentum here than to catch the tops or the bottoms of what you're looking for. Also, because there's red flags everywhere, it's going to be really hard to catch certain entries. So we have a bullish trend here now, guys. The trend is now bullish, as you guys can see. So there's a lot of entries here that you guys can look for. You guys can look for an MPS. You guys can look for momentum divergence. You can look for some high-low scalps. There's some opportunities up here. It's just a matter of time until price gets out of this area that we're kind of stuck in right here. Price is currently at the opening price. Okay, so now that we have the crossover here, this isn't really going to work in our favor because I was hoping that we would have a momentum divergence here, but it's not looking like that's going to be the case because it is crossing over here. Or we'll see if it even crosses. It might not even cross. Price pushes up a little later, a little more. Yeah, if you guys are in the Zoom, Drew just posted a screenshot from yesterday. He said, looks exactly like yesterday. Yeah, pretty much the same exact setup. So this is why I was saying, on Mondays, just use those as feeler days and then kind of work with the market and see if if that can be a benefit. All right, so price actually pushed up. We didn't have a divergence here. I'm looking for price to diverge below for retracement. And then after this, I'll look for a possible buy here. So I'm going to be looking for the momentum divergence. As Nick said, there's a possible high-low scalp here setting up. I'm not going to take it as a high-low scalp. I'll be looking for the divergence here. But if you guys want to take it, feel free. I'll mark it up for you guys. It's about 10 seconds left on this candle. I'm not thinking that there's going to be a divergence here. It's not strong enough. Yeah, so no divergence there, at least not yet. But if price does break past this area, we will most likely have a divergence and a high-low scalp. I wouldn't take it as a high-low scalp. I would take it as a divergence. So if it closes below, then I'll still be willing to possibly take it. So it looks like price here is now going to consolidate around this area. This is the consolidation zone right here, which would set up as a it would set up for the next breakout. So it looks like this area is just going to be a consolidation zone right here for now. And if price makes its climb back up, then possible breakout to the upside. Let's see, Jacob's asking 1020 or 1015. What are you referring to, Jacob? 1020. Sorry, I'm just confused. I'm not sure what time you're referring to. Oh yeah, I'm doing 1020. That is correct. Doing 1020 today. Sorry, I thought you were referring to a time. I was like, I wasn't sure what was. I was like, the time difference is so different if it was 1020. All right, so I'm doing 1020 right now, guys. The ATR is currently at 15, so good. I'm looking for the divergence here again, guys. So I'm still looking for that divergence. I'm looking at it from down here. It's got to be a clean divergence, though. It can't be like an iffy one where it's kind of flat, right? I want it to like push through. So if it pushes through, I'm probably going to look for price to maybe break and close past the high low right here, because it's gonna have to push up pretty strong for it to hold. The sell signal comes up. This is pretty much a reset, and we're not going to be able to take any momentum divergences here. There's a lot of time on this clock though for this specific candle. It's 30 seconds, so but there's no entry here that's setting up just yet. It's pretty much doing what we just talked about. So consolidation, breakout, consolidation, breakout. It's now consolidating within this middle area right here. And then it's going to break out. So once it's done consolidating, it's going to break out below or it's going to break out above. I was kind of banking on the breakout to the upside, but if it breaks out back down here, then that's fine too. You can see where price is rejecting off. So you just use these confluences, right? We have the resistance up here. Price rejected off the resistance. It's respecting the range right now. Yeah, Daniel said a possible high level momentum scalp. Yeah, if that candle closed red with the sell signal, it would have been a decent entry because we had higher high right there. The high level momentum scalp is actually a really good strategy for the type of market that we're currently in today, because you guys can see how the market is respecting the support and resistance, right? So you're probably going to expect price to go back and forth between these areas here. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case, and that's just where price is going to sit for the day. So again, guys, just be patient. Price has not confirmed a continuation to the downside yet. So I mean, we'll see if this, I mean, it looks like it's going to drop back down. So I'm just going to take this out of the way. If this here closes, it's going to reset the process. So we might be looking for sells at this point if that becomes the case. But again, it has not closed. So there's still there's still possibility of it swinging back up, right? That could still happen. You don't want to put that away just yet. If you get a sell signal though, if the sell signal comes up though, then in that situation, okay, you'll stop looking for buys there unless another buy signal comes up. But again, it looks like the consolidation is still setting up here. It hasn't established a consolidation zone. So this area right here is basically the area of consolidation. This consolidation right here, broke out, consolidation right here, and then maybe it might break out, come back down, possibly, but not for sure yet. We got 8 seconds left on this candle, 5 seconds. See if it closes with the sell signal. And again, failure to close with the sell signal there. So it's attempting to establish a range here, a smaller range. You can see if it wanted to push down, it would push down and continue climbing, but it's having trouble. That sell signal just won't close. And it looks like price might just be swinging back up from here. So just got to give it time, and you just got to be patient. The ATR is currently at 14 right now. If you guys want to trade within the range, feel free. Just understand that you're looking for possible opportunities. Just don't take random entries. So just because price pushes back up into this resistance, don't take a sell here just because of that, because price can easily just break through it and continue climbing, right? So just be smart about it. If you guys are trading within the range, look for the reversal patterns, right? Look for V1 patterns, CV entries, anything that will probably give you some sort of confidence in some sort of entry. Just don't take something random. That's the thing that I want to kind of emphasize. Because I know when price is trading within a range like this is probably where people blow most of their profits, right? Or they blow their accounts because they try to be smart about it, but then they end up taking a bunch of random entries. And like Sadie said as well, it's also Trap Tuesday. So just keep that in mind. There's a lot of reasons here to be careful, guys. I mean, yesterday we were careful because it was a feeler day. It wouldn't even matter because as careful as we were, there was no volatility in the market. So we couldn't take anything to begin with. Today is a little different. Today is Trap Tuesday. It's Trap Tuesday. It's still a little bit of a slow day compared to what we're used to during the spring season, but you just don't want to get caught in these traps here. Obviously, I think, when market is ranging in a so obvious range, like this range here is pretty obvious. Like you can't get a cleaner range than this, right? Because we drew this support here from the 1 hour chart. It came back and retested it. There's like basically a double support area right there. And then same with this here. This retested this area twice. So we have a clean range right here. And just because it's clean doesn't mean it's going to hold. So we have a momentum divergence here. Unfortunately, it's back in between the sessions, so I'm not going to be able to take this trade. If you guys want to take it, I mean, I don't recommend it at all because there's just too many red flags right here. It's right next to the session Asia high, and it's right next to the news price, and then it's also right next to, it's touching opening price right here. There's just so many reasons not to take this trade here, but it is setting up for the momentum divergence that I was actually looking for. I was hoping it'd close up here, but unfortunately, things don't always play out how you want it to. So it looks like the divergence here is going to close. And it looks like, yeah, so this is the setup that I was looking for. I mean, I would have wanted this to be a green candle though. I wouldn't have taken it if it was red. But again, it's touching the opening price, which is an area of manipulation. News price, area of manipulation. Sessions, area of manipulation. I just wouldn't mess with any trades in this area at all. But again, that was a setup that we wanted to come up somewhere around here. Yeah, Gil said traps right and left. Yeah, exactly. So just be careful, guys. I mean, this was the entry that we were looking for. It looks like it could have played, or could have been playing through pretty nicely. Yeah. But again, because yeah, it would have been a full TP right there. So unfortunately, our setup here didn't line up with what we were looking for, but this is what I was looking for. I was looking for this buy signal to push up, retracement, and then continuation up. However, I wanted this continuation to happen up here, not down here, because this is where the red flags are. But you guys can see right there how I hit TP. So the good thing here is that the analysis is still playing out fine. It's just coming up in areas that we don't want them to. So that was the entry I was looking for. That was a momentum divergence. You can see divergence here with bullish, retracement over here, came back above green right here, lined up with the analysis with the bullish trend, and it played out. So I don't know if anybody took that, but that was the setup that we're going to continue looking for, as price continues to move along. Man, I was really hoping this would come up there because that was exactly what we were looking for, but it's okay. I know another entry will come up, so we just got to be patient and we got to wait for the next opportunity here. Again, no FOMO. I'm gonna try to be as careful as possible. This month, I mean, pretty much this month and last month, if I didn't have FOMO for basically the 2 or 3 losses that we had for the entire 2 months, we would have been like, well, I mean, we are in a good position overall, but we would have had like so many straight wins. I think we had like 17 wins straight before the first loss. If we didn't have that one, we kept going. We didn't have the other 2. We'd have like, over 20 wins back to back to back. So I'm going to be smarter for your guys' sake with taking these entries, for my sake and for your guys' sake. So I'll mark up entries when they come up and I'll tell you when the entries are coming up. But if they don't meet my criteria and if I feel like it's a FOMO move, I'm not going to take it. Because every trade I lost could have been easily avoided, but it's just me being dumb, right? I'm just being dumb because I get FOMO. I feel like I have the need to take a trade every day, but realistically, we don't. The real goal here is for consistency and discipline. Like you can get lucky with any trades like you see on the chart, but are you able to be consistent enough to be profitable long term? Because I'm sure it's happened to a lot of you guys, right? A lot of you guys have been profitable for like a short period of time. You've been profitable for maybe a week, maybe a month in some instances, but then you end up going downhill from there because you don't understand how to avoid trades. And I think that's the biggest problem with a lot of traders. If you guys, because everybody can get lucky. Everybody could get lucky with easy with wins here and there. The real hard part is being able to avoid the losses that can be avoided. So looking at this over here, guys, I'm looking at the PRB. I think the PRB already came up. So we had push up here. We had the rejection right here. We had the space consolidation candle right here. So it looks like the PRB actually came up on its green candle here, guys. I wasn't paying attention to it, but the PRB did come up here. It's still running, actually. So the PRB is running right now for a buy currently at this moment. There's no breakout V3s running right now, but the PRB is currently running for a buy here. I'm surprised it's still running. I would have thought that it would have hit TP by now, but the volatility is kind of back and forth. So now that we take a closer look to current price, you can see that the consolidation is still happening. So we had consolidation right here. We had the breakout to the downside, consolidation down here, breakout to the upside. And it looks like price is still in this consolidation. It hasn't actually broken out yet. So that's kind of a good sign because we can still look for possible opportunities here. Since price has not broken out of this consolidation zone. So a breakout's going to happen eventually. It's just not there yet. You can see how price is consolidating around this area. Eventually, price is going to break out to the upside, or it's going to break out to the downside. I mean, either direction, this is pretty much, what we're looking for here. All right, so we got price pulling back down. We got a pending sell signal. It wouldn't really matter. I actually do want the sell signal to come up. So I want the sell signal to come up so that we can start looking for another momentum divergence. There's no divergence here yet because this one is already used. So we had divergence here for a buy. We need the sell signal to come up to confirm retracement. Jason, what makes you consider a trade a FOMO trade if it meets all your criteria? Well, like one of the main ones is if the trade came up and I already missed it and I try to get in for a late entry. That's FOMO. Because the trade would have came up, that like what happened, I think last Monday, there was a high-low momentum scalp that came up. The trade was going sideways for like 5 minutes. Typically after 5 minutes, the trade should be done at that point because it's a scalp move. So what happened was price was going sideways. I ended up entering late and then price just ended up reversing on me. That would be considered FOMO because that trade should have been avoided, right? If for the most part, if you don't take the trade when the trade comes up, you're not confident in the trade. So if you're not confident in the trade, then just let that trade go because another one's going to come by. So for the most part, FOMO, in my opinion, is like if the setup comes up and you're already second guessing the setup and you don't take it, and then you see it that it hasn't finished yet, and you want to get in late, that's pretty much FOMO, right? Because you just fear that you're going to miss out on that trade. And you end up getting in when you know you should have just sat out of it. So for the most part, it's usually if you get in late. Yeah, exactly. So Nick said if you aren't anticipating the trade, it's FOMO. Yeah, 100%. So like, for example, here, I was looking for the momentum divergence. I already knew what I was looking for, right? I had the criteria in my head. I was looking for the setup. I was looking for the pattern. That wouldn't be FOMO because I already saw it. I knew it was happening. If the trade happens and you're like, oh crap, I missed the trade. And you see it in some drawdown, you're like, oh, I can get in for a discount, and you're getting greedy at that point, and then you get in, and then it ends up reversing on you. That's what I would consider FOMO. I mean, there's a lot of different things, but I think that's probably the main thing. I think Nick kind of hit it on the head with that. It's really, if you're not anticipating the trade, that's not your trade, right? Because you're looking for something specific. And high-level momentum scalps are typically not the trade that I'm usually looking for. All right, so we still haven't gotten this high-low scalp up here, like Nick was mentioning. So what I would look for here is I would look for price to maybe push up a little bit. I wouldn't take this. So if this happens to be a momentum divergence, I'll use that as a confluence. I wouldn't take it specifically as a momentum divergence, but I would look for price to maybe climb up. If it lines up with this entry here, we get a divergence below. Plus we get a break and close. And in that situation, I would be maybe okay confirmed or maybe okay confident with taking the entry there as a high-low scalp. Not necessarily a momentum divergence, but a high-low scalp. Yeah, Nick said we might get a high-low unless it touches the sessions. And that's literally what happened. Price is still within the consolidation zone, guys. So just keep that in mind. Price is still consolidating within this area. So the breakout's going to happen. It's just not here yet. It's going to happen. So price is going sideways right here. Eventually, it's going to break above or it's going to break below. Right? There's two different scenarios here that can play out. Not one specifically, but that's kind of what we're looking for. So again, there's only two things I'm looking at here. I'm looking for the high-low scalp possibly, and I'm looking for the momentum divergence as a confluence. So anything else that comes up is going to be a FOMO for me, right? Because it's not something that I'm specifically looking for. So we got price right here. This might be the high-low scalp that you're looking for, Nick. So I would be okay with taking this if this candle closes, like it has to for sure close above it. It can't be like bouncing back and forth. And the candle also can't be like super huge. Yeah, as long as this candle closes maybe up here, or maybe even a little higher, I'll be okay with taking it. But if we get this back and forth, spiky movement right there, I'm not even gonna think about it. So I'm gonna watch it right here, see how it closes. We got 15 seconds left on it. It's got to be like a pretty decent green candle. It can't be like bouncing back and forth like we just said here. So I'm watching it right here. We got 5. I'm probably gonna take this one, guys. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Or
In the position right here. Let's see where the TP's at. It's got to push up a little higher here. 405. Okay, it lines up with mine.
order submitted.
Set an alert over here. Set an alert so I'm aware of like where it's currently at. Because it's the volatility here is kind of like jumpy a little bit. So just watching it here, letting it play through and back up a little bit from here. So I'm hoping that this continues to push up and it breaks out of this area because it's now broken out of the consolidation area here, consolidation zone. It's above the, this is the 1 minute resistance actually. I think there's any, there's liquidity up there, but it's kind of far up. You guys can see. So price continues to climb up from here. Target price point for it to go to would be the area of liquidity up there. That's like the target price point for price to be bullish and continue climbing. Yeah, the volatility here is kind of low now. The PRB hit full TP here, as you guys can see. So this is a PRB from earlier. It finally pushed through and hit TP. There's no breakout V3 continuations coming up anytime soon or any breakout V3s. It's just low volatility here. So the ATR is currently at 13. Just hoping it pick up a little bit and continue climbing up. The only confluence that we really have here mainly would be the liquidity zone up there. Let's take a look at the overall trend. So 1 minute's bullish, 5 minutes bullish, 10 minute is bullish, 30 minute is bearish, 1 hour is bearish, and the 4 hour is bullish. So it's pretty much mixed right now. Price came back down to retest the higher high right there. So this is a break and retest pattern. Another good confluence right there for it to maybe climb, but the volatility here is just a little low. So now we're just watching for this here to, unless this starts to establish a new area of consolidation, which I was hoping was not going to be the case here, because this could be another area of consolidation right here, and then maybe eventually climb back up. But I hate holding on to positions for longer than we need to, because this position is now running for about, we're 3 minutes in. So the scalp is looking like it's going to start turning into a day trade here. Okay, now we're getting the push up. If we end up holding on to it for more than, I'd say 5-10 minutes. 5-10 minutes is probably the limit there for a scalp. And then at that point, it's going to turn into a day trade. Let's take a look at the other things here. There's no other news for today. News at 8:30. Retail sentiment is 72% short. So retail sentiment is currently 72% short. This indicates that 72% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So we typically want to do the opposite and buy. This goes hand in hand with our position here. So that's a good sign. Looking over here at CNBC, the thing that I'm surprised about is that there's no breaking news for CNBC for the past 2 days. So there's no breaking news yesterday at all. There was no breaking news today. It's just kind of unusual that, I mean, there's at least like one breaking news that comes up. There's just this right here. It says NASDAQ falls, pulls back up from record. This was at 640 about 30 minutes ago. All right, so this is just what I was talking about earlier, guys. The scalp is now turning into into a day trade. This is now looking like it's turning into the consolidation zone, which is fine. It's probably going to consolidate here for a little bit. Hopefully break above. So consolidate for a bit and then break above and climb up from where it's currently at. So again, this is the area of liquidity. If it does push up above, that's going to be the target price point. Liquidity, any day. Yeah, exactly, Nick. Nick said it feels like it should still hit a slow day. So we're stuck in the consolidation here, unfortunately. Now we just got to wait for price to break out of the consolidation zone. Looks like it might come back down and retest the resistance here, maybe. Or this just might be the play. So this might be the play where it just gets close to resistance because, a lot of people look for that break and retest of the resistance where it turns, resistance into support. And this might just get close to it and then push up. You guys have seen that sometimes where you guys are looking for that break and retest pattern. The retest never happens and it just ends up flying from there. Right. Oh man, it sucks. It sucks being stuck in a position that has like so low volatility. Okay, so we have the retest right there. There goes a break and retest of the resistance. Invalid sell signal, so that's still a good sign too. I mean, price could bounce off the pivots and then come right back up with the buy signal. Preferably, I'd prefer that invalid signal. It's actually a good sign. So bounce off the pivots, possibly a push up from here. Looking for that buy signal. We had a nice rejection off the pivots right there. Now I'm just watching again for it to come back up. So I'm just waiting for that buy signal, but realistically, as you guys can see, this is the new range or consolidation, whatever you want to call it. This is the range consolidation within this middle area. Hopefully this buy signal will close. We get a green candle to follow it. That'd be a breakout V3 continuation and then continue to push the upside. Or like what Nick just said, a triple confluence, even better. Kevin said we also have a buy signal that's flashing on the 5-minute. So that's also a good thing. But again, I mean, the analysis that I mentioned from earlier, where price is going to consolidate around this middle area right here looks like it's playing true. It's what we just discussed. So we might get a divergence right here, guys. So I'm looking for the divergence here. This is a good sign because this divergence will be the start of another momentum divergence that can follow. Right, so I was looking for that buy signal there to close because if that buy signal would close, we'd have a divergence here. And then once the divergence happens, it'll probably push up a little bit. So if the divergence does close with the buy signal, then the next setup could be a possible momentum divergence where price kind of pushes up, retraces down, and then pushes right back up. So we're just looking like, for the most part, I think that buy signal there would be like the main key factor that we're looking for, because that buy signal will confirm the divergence that can possibly climb up higher. But again, this is what I don't like to be stuck in because these scalp trades turn into what we consider, day trades where they end up going on for too long. Which is also fine. I mean, you can hold on to the position. The only problem is that these, the setup that we have and the TP stop loss we have set up is meant for the quick moves. So So we just gotta wait again. Just wait a little bit longer. Once we get that buy signal, I think it's going to wait, it's going to kind of set up for like what we're looking for here. But realistically, price is just going back and forth. So this markup here that I drew, it's just going back and forth because this is the consolidation zone. This whole area is consolidation. You don't really want to be trading in consolidation zones. See, CNBC just reported some breaking news, I guess. All right, so let's see. Trump defense rests at New York hush money trial. Ex-president doesn't testify. That was kind of expected. And Trump's never going to get out of court. He's going to be in court forever. All right, so again, we're just looking for this buy signal over here. The buy signal is going to be the main factor because the buy signal will, the divergence here isn't even bullish anymore, but the buy signal is going to be, sort of the main factor here for the divergence that we're looking for. It's just not there yet. But again, I mean, price is now not even really moving very much. Here goes the consolidation again. 718 right now. So we actually have a decent amount of time. It's just price is going to be stuck in this consolidation until it breaks out. So I'm hoping that it breaks out of this area and to the top end. And that's the the buy signal that we're looking for. The buy signal just hasn't come up yet. Sideways market. There's nothing else that's nearby. I was looking if I could see a pattern here for like, say a V1 variation, like a double body rejection or something like that. All right, so now we just got to sit tight, guys. Price is pretty much just going sideways right here. It's retesting the resistance, which is, I'm assuming, would be now support. There's not really too much going on here. There we go. Price climbs back up. There's just no direction. So we'll just follow this here as consolidation. And eventually volatility should, so the volatility is pretty low now, guys. It's down to 10. It's right back down to 10. So you guys already know what that means. When the volatility drops that low, it's just gonna go sideways. So I mean, it's the same market as yesterday. So if you guys see over here, consolidation, breakout, consolidation, breakout, consolidation. The only problem is that we got stuck in the consolidation this time. This is what I was trying to avoid. I was trying to avoid getting stuck in the consolidation. I was hoping to get caught in the breakout, but yeah, we're stuck in the consolidation right here, right down the middle. Let's see. Y'all said it's just the season. I hate it too. Yeah, same here, y'all. This is how the market typically is during the summer. I'm surprised it's happening so early in the season, but yeah, the summer, this is usually, there goes a buy signal again. So we got the setup over here again. We just need that buy signal. The buy signal is going to confirm the divergence. But again, the buy signal is just, there's not enough power behind it. The volatility is too low. So let's see if this buy signal actually closes finally. Nope, no buy signal. Again, we have a pending one, but the volatility is just getting lower and lower. It's gotta be like the worst market week. So we've had ranging markets and consolidating markets, but this is probably like one of the worst weeks we've had in a while, where the consolidation is just so it's so strong, right? The consolidation is just kind of flat. And no buy signal again, of course. But yeah, the consolidation here is just going sideways. The volatility is just getting lower and lower. It's currently at 10 right now. I was hoping it'd pick up a little bit, because if it stays above 10, then we might get some push. But if it stays like at 10 and it just doesn't move, it's probably just going to be flat for like the rest of the, rest of the session, it looks like. So we have price pushing out. Do we have a buy signal yet? Another pinning buy signal here. All right, so let's get that buy signal. Let's get that buy signal to close. And then once it closes, we have the divergence here. So it's looking good. We just need that buy signal. Really, the buy signal is going to be the key factor here for us to get the bullish push. But I mean, again, it's just going to be that, it's going to be that buy signal. We got 25 seconds with this buy signal right here. See if we get that push like at the last second. 10 seconds. We have a divergence, so that's a good sign. Only sign is the buy signal now. Of course, no buy signal. All right, another pinning buy signal here. There we go. I mean, it's just inching up. Like once that buy signal closes, it's going to confirm that, okay, the bullish momentum is there. We have the divergence here. The divergence is starting to spread out pretty nice. So it should be climbing, but you guys can see here that it's not really having much luck. Right here. And again, right there, the buy signal did not close. Pushed up, but not really strong enough. It's just, it's inching towards the area. But because of the low volatility here, it's not really having that push that it needs to really get past that. Yeah, super annoying. Yeah, Jacob said almost a 20-minute trade. Like I said, so if the trade passed 5 minutes or even 10 minutes, in that situation, it's not even a scalp anymore. This is no longer a scalp. This is a day trade, because the day trades will run for like 30 minutes to an hour, or maybe even a couple hours. At this point, this is like, I mean, that's literally what's happening here. Yeah, Madhu said it's getting stuck at the 1 hour pivots. Check real quick. Yeah, it's having trouble getting past that 1 hour pivot, it looks like. It's passing on the 30-minute, but the 30-minute has like 5 minutes left on it. So it's got a long time for it to actually get past it on the 30-minute here. It's not happening just like right now specifically, but it's also trying to pass here on the 30-minute as well. And then here we are back into the range. So same thing from earlier, just the same range, just coming back to this lower level. And we'll see if it bounces off here again. Yeah, Lorraine said, I guess I'm done for the day. Too partial, too slow. Yeah, the market's just not there today. Ah, fuck, I got stopped out. It's okay.
Order filled.
So I got stopped out, guys. It's all good. Not the way I wanted to end this trading day, but fuck it is what it is. All right, so I ate that loss right there, unfortunately. It is what it is. I was kind of tempted to pull out early right here, but I didn't, because I thought I was just going to push through, but unfortunately didn't. And it's just one of those trades. Like, this is why I try to avoid the scalp trades, right? I mean, I try to avoid the consolidation phases, because the thing is, we got really close to our TP. Like, our TP was literally right there, and then it ended up just reversing on us. So, I mean, it's all good. I'm gonna eat that loss. Put this in the notes. Maybe in the future, I'll just, if it gets past 5 minutes, I'll just pull out of the trade. But typically, these trades aren't supposed to take this long. Like, I would have been okay if this would have stopped me out like within the first couple minutes. But the fact that we held on to this position for like 20 minutes and it just kept going back and forth forever, I think that's what made it even worse. We did tighten our stop loss, so loss wasn't that bad. A lot smaller than what it usually would be. So I'm going to add that over here to our trades for the day, unfortunately. So it's all good. It happens, and this just wasn't one of those regular trades that we take. I mean, it is one of the regular trades we take, but it usually doesn't take this long. So, all right, it's all good. 20 points right there. And there goes my unfortunate loss for the day. I was in profit too, so I was like really tempted right here. I saw the profit was like pretty nice, and I was tempted to pull it out, but I just held on to it, and it's all good. Make Millions said you've changed your style too much. How did I change style? This high-low scalp is the same strategy we've been applying for how long now? How many years now? If anybody could remember. I think this strategy is the same strategy we've been using for 3+ years. So style hasn't changed. Style's been the same. Make millions. Whatever. I don't know like what you mean by that. Yeah, everyone here said we've been applying the same exact strategy for over 3 years now. Nothing's changed. Unless like, well, I wouldn't even say unless anything, because that's 3 years. That's 3 years its strategy's been applied. So nothing's changed here at all. It's the same strategy we've been doing for years now. And if you look back at the results, like from, let's see, from last year, I mean, we were still applying this around this time. Yeah. So high-low scalps were being taken all throughout. So no, nothing's changed. I mean, I don't know how to respond to that. All right, so other than that, guys, there's nothing else here for us to really look at. It's 7:30 right now. I'm going to keep looking for any possible opportunities, but there's just nothing for us to take right here specifically. We have about like 30, we have about like, let's see, 10 minutes till 7:40. I'm not going to take any more trades on my end, because for me here, my trading plan is if I lose one trade, I'm done for the day, right? That's usually what I do. If I lose one trade for the day, then I'm pretty much done taking any more opportunities. The reason for that's that prevents me from over trading and revenge trading, because whenever you take a loss, that's usually where when you take a loss, that's usually where you start to make bad decisions, right? Because you want to get that loss back. Like for example, here, this you can see prices climbing back up from where it currently was. At this point right here, if I was to look at this, I probably would have wanted to climb back into a buy there, right? So that's literally why I don't trade anymore after my first loss. Because once you have another loss, you see price climbing up here, and then what happens is you want to climb back into the buy, and then as you enter the buy there, it comes right back down, and then you end up having two losses. So instead of just having one loss for the day, you end up having two. So I risked about 1% on the trade, not a big loss. I'll just need about 2 trades to bring it back up, since we did cut down on our TP stop loss to make it a bit tighter. Let's see, Make Millions is asking what's with divergence. Divergence is part of the momentum indicator. I know you probably haven't been paying attention, but this is just a part of the momentum indicator. So it's a confluence. This is tied into the momentum indicator. So when you have this tied into it, you can kind of anticipate when the momentum's coming up. That's why earlier, I mean, if you were listening to the analysis, I mentioned when the divergence here shifts, we're looking for the buy signal, right? That's how we were able to identify the buy signal was going to come up. But I don't know, were you not paying attention? Because that's kind of what it seems like. The whole time here, we were looking for the buy signal to come up, right? Because the divergence happened right here. And I said, okay, if that happens, then we're looking for the buy signal. Buy signal would have pushed price up. However, the buy signal never came up, right? That's what the divergence came from. It's a confluence. If we took this away, it would still be part of the momentum signal, but we have another tool here to help us identify when the momentum's coming up. So for example, here, the divergence came below, you see the sell signal. Divergence came above, you see the buy signal. It's a confluence, right? That's how you get better. You adapt with the market, you adapt with your tools, and you find ways to look for better confluences or more confluences on top of that. But that's how you get better at trading, obviously. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it. Anyways, J-Dub said your momentum pullback scalp worked. I guess there was another one here that came up as well. Momentum pullback scalp, but there's nothing else here. Well, I'm not going to take anything else here myself. So I think there was one that came up here. Is this one that you're talking about, J-Dub? So it probably came up over here, but it came up a little earlier though. So the momentum divergence, or not, the momentum pullback scalp happened right here when the trend shifted. It would have happened like way over here, J-Dub, because we had a buy signal here, the trend confirmed right here, price came up, retraced, the entry would have happened right here on the 60 mark, and this would have happened like way earlier. Right there at 651. So nothing else that came up before or after that. Let's see. Yeah, CJ said we have different variations to high-low scalp, but nothing's changed. And on top of that, we don't even use the variation B2, so it's not really something that people would ever see because I don't really apply it as much. That strategy works good during sideways markets, so I guess it would have worked good for something like this, but the entry still wouldn't have came up on this specific setup right here because it would have to break above, break below, break back above. It never broke back below here, so the setup never came up for the high-low scalp V2, but I haven't even looked at that or presented it here on the live session in a couple months. I know Madhu still uses it, a couple other people do, but for the most part, I don't. Question from Jacob. Jacob said, quick question. Why don't you use the bodies over the wicks? Is there a difference for that scalp? So for this here, I mean, I used to use the bodies before, but then, I mean, you can use them interchangeably. The only difference with the wicks is that sometimes you'll have a wick that's like super high and a body that's super low. So in that situation, it becomes a whole different strategy. I mean, if you want to use that as a different setup, Jacob, I think it would work too. Actually, well, this would have been invalidated. So if you would have taken this one right here from the body, this here would have touched it. So this would have invalidated the high-low scalp. But if you wanted to take it as that, you could. If you just want to factor out the wicks, you could. Same with this one over here. Or so see, this is like one of the reasons why, because I've tested it back and forth. I think I've tested it with the bodies, and you can see a lot more fake outs happen with the bodies over here. So see how this one, actually this one didn't even count because this candle here was past it. I think for my testing back then, because initially the strategy was off the body, and then I created the high-low indicator, and that's where I started to look for the wick. So the main reason why I did that was because you can see sometimes right here that the following candle kind of overlaps it. And I think that's why now that I'm seeing it now in person, or now that we're seeing it now in this point in time, this is why I wasn't really using it. Because you can see over here, sometimes the high will come up and the body will be higher than it. So it kind of invalidates it automatically. Same with this one right here. Same with this one, because they're not always aligned. If you're looking at these here, same with this one over here. So, I mean, if you want to do it from the body, Jacob, you can probably just ignore the first candle, but you can see sometimes the first candles are so close that they pretty much invalidate the high at that point. See, if you use the higher high, it doesn't usually, or the wick part, it doesn't typically touch it yet. And it makes it a better point for entry. So there's a couple different reasons why I had that. Sometimes the wicks are too big, and then sometimes the bodies just overlap like that. So they're not on the same level. But if you find it to be useful to you, then you can go ahead and use it that way as well. So again, right here, you can see if we stretch this down, we basically just got spiked out right here. We basically just got this spiked out, and then it pulled back into the setup over here. Unfortunately, it's not a setup where I want to re-enter. Let's see if 25 would have survived it. No. So it was actually a good sign that we had a tighter stop loss, because either way, 20 or 25 still would have hit it. I think 15 might have been a little too close. And I wouldn't be surprised if it hit there. So unfortunately, guys, this would have been, yeah, the 30 would have been good. So if we use the original TP stop loss that we usually use, 1030, we would have survived this pullback. But it's okay. This is like what this only happens like once in this happens like once in a blue moon. This doesn't really happen very often where we're stuck in this position for this long. I mean, if this happens to be the case and we get closer to summer, then in that situation we might have to make some adjustments. But yeah, I mean, it's just the type of market that we're currently in. We usually don't see entries like this where you're in the position for over 20 minutes, right? We're usually in and out within a few seconds, maybe a few minutes. We're in and out pretty quickly. And that's why it's not really necessary to have this wide stop loss. But this is why I originally have a wide stop loss like this, because for moves like this, where price kind of fakes out a little bit, spikes, and then comes back up. It works well during high volatility markets as well. But for this situation here, unfortunately, this is what we got caught with. And due to our tight stop loss, we ended up getting stopped out there. So it's all good. But all right, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. Otherwise, we're going to wrap this up for the day. It's 7:37 right now. My typical cutoff time is like 7:40. The market here is obviously slow, so there's nothing for you to take here to begin with. Looking at the current price movement here, I mean, realistically, price hasn't even pulled out of this consolidation range. It faked out down here, and then it just pulled back into the range. It's a typical Trap Tuesday type day. Price kind of went sideways for a bit, faked out, came back into the sideways movement here. So just another Trap Tuesday with us, unfortunately, getting caught in the, not necessarily the trap, but the trap that was setting up. So we were in our position here and price came down here to trap sellers. We were in the right position. It was just price came down as trap the sellers, and then it came right back up to stop them out. So you can see over here, this is what kind of sucks, because price can stop people out in both directions. You can be stuck in the middle here. If you're in a buy and your stop loss is too tight, you get stopped out right here. If you chase the sell right there, you get stopped out right there. So I mean, it is what it is. Let's see. Yeah, Nick said that was a nasty wick. Definitely a solid trade. Would have been nice if that was the case, and this here would have spiked right here, but it's all good. So, all right, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Barack said, yeah, it's not summer yet and it's playing too much. You need this market to trend. Hopefully tomorrow. So tomorrow we do have a lot of news. I'm expecting more volatility to pop up in the market. There isn't really much news today, so there's no catalyst really pushing price around. That's why price has been going sideways. Looking at tomorrow, we have news at 7 o'clock, existing home sales, month over month. And for the month, we have low impact pre-market stock changes that happen every Wednesday. And then we have FOMC minutes at 11. So some volatility, hopefully pre-market, that'll cause price to kind of move a little bit. And then on Thursday, we have a lot of news over here pre-market. We have continuing jobless claims, initial jobless claims, 4-week average, Chicago Fed National Activity Index, S&P Global Composite PMI, manufacturing PMI, global services PMI, new home sales month over month, new home sales for April, etc. So that's pretty much it for now, guys. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Unfortunately, we took the loss for the day. And that's just how it's going to go for the day. So we'll come back tomorrow fresh. Hopefully we'll have a couple more wins tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, bring us back into a green week for the week. And we'll close out the week, hopefully profitable. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here tomorrow.